Okay, with my next special guest now we have on the line. I have Jordan Joyce, which is she's a independent female artist over there in the east side of America. How are we today, Jordan? Thanks for chatting with me today.
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me.
Fantastic, great to have you on. I've acquired your press pack, which includes a new single out, which is I know you're campaigning your new track. It's called Confluence. Wow, that's a nice long word. What's this record regarding about?
So the single itself is just a kind of high energy electric song, and the confluence, the idea of two, the place where two rivers merge together. So it's like the old and the new coming together to make something totally unexpected and different, and carving a new path. And I just wanted to have like a nice high energy electric song. It was produced by Pete Steinkoff of the Bouncing Souls. So we got that nice like wall of guitars, electric sound from Pete and all of his tone tricks. So
Fantastic. And you touch on quite a few genres. Having read upon your biog, I know country music is close to your heart because you're traveling at Nashville at the moment, aren't you?
I am, yeah. I'm on my way to Americana Fest in Nashville, and I grew up in the Shenandoah Valley in the Blue Ridge Mountains, Virginia. So I was just, I grew up in the same town that Patsy Cline was born in. So everyone has a Patsy Cline
Mm.
story, and a lot of bluegrass and old time kind of country music there. But I was definitely more of like a punk rocker kind of kid trying to put on shows at the roller rink and things like that. So that's always been kind of, I grew up in a tattoo shop as well. So I have this like kind of punk rock country thing that's just ingrained in me.
Well, that's not many people can say they've been growing up in a tattoo shop.
Yeah, yeah, that's I'm a second generation tattooer, so that my other passion aside from
Mm,
music is that.
mm.
So it's just a nice combination of like rock and roll and a little bit of country that just is always going to be there.
It's nice to have a bit of fusion as well, rather than just stick to one genre.
Yeah, I mean, it's more fun that way.
Mm. Like you expand more and experiment.
Definitely.
Mm,
Yeah, I think everyone is trying different things. You don't want to have the same thing every day. So
mm. And these great country songs, which kind of check all especially here in England, you hear of like the towns and cities in America. You don't know where they are, but like Take Home Country Roads. It kind of mentions all these, the West Virginia plains. Have you kind of lived on those country roads, on tour and everything? You know what that song's about.
oh yeah, I mean, I grew up on a farm, so my mom was lived on a farm, and my dad had a tattoo studio. But yeah, I grew up out there. I spent my whole upbringing in the Shenandoah Valley, like in the Appalachian Mountains. So it's just like I said, it's just a part of who I am.
Mm.
So.
And the Appalachian Mountains, they're in North America, are they?
Yeah, yeah, they run all kind of up the East Coast. So I think it's down to like North Carolina, all the way up to I think Maine. It's a very one of the oldest mountain ranges in the world, actually.
Mm.
But a lot of history there, a lot of history with bluegrass and country music, and it's like folklore, and that just the whole idea of like folk, music, where it just kind of comes from the heart, and it's very like oriented in just kind of tradition.
Mm.
And
And do you like say, like, just for an example, the Appalachian Mountains? Do they inspire you to write your music? Can they, give you a good process to write a good song?
I think so. I mean, I think part of like where we come from is always in us, no matter where we go in the world and wherever we travel, you carry that with you. So I think it's a part of who I am, growing up out there for sure.
And was music always something that you really wanted to do deep down?
Yes, yeah, it's always been a part of me. I got my first guitar when I was 9 years old, and I remember kind of learning the chords, and I would like write little songs in the kitchen. I remember sitting on the kitchen floor, like singing songs to my mom when I was a little kid. So it's always been a part of me for sure.
Yeah. And was music quite a big part of, family life, being surrounded by music?
Yeah, it was interesting. There I didn't come from a musical family, but my mom's side of the family, we were like, lived on a farm and we had horses and we would go on trail rides, like, riding horses out into the woods and spend all day and would camp out and they would have, music like at the end of the night. And so there was a lot of like country music going on there. And then with my dad being a tattooer, he was taking me to like rock and roll shows and things like that. So both of those genres were definitely always around me growing up.
Great. And your new single as well. How have you found that being received by the general public?
It's been great. Yeah, it's been really cool. I was in like a kind of a bluegrassy punk rock band called Gallows Bound before this, and it was more acoustic. And I always wanted to write just full electric kind of rock and roll song, and so this was my first one of that. My debut single came out just over a month ago now, and that was a little more electric, a little more acoustic, folky kind of vibe. It has the Walker Rotors in it, which is like members of Floggy Molly, Dropkick Murphys, and the Pogues, and so we have a little bit more of that kind of vibe to it. And this one is just a little more rock and roll. So, but yeah, it's great, very well received. It's been fun to see the.
That's good. I've just got your singles up now on Apple Music. That previous single was it called Passing Ships?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's good, and that features, as you say, the Walker Roaders as well. My next
Yeah.
question I was going to ask you now. Will you be touring this year at the moment on the road?
So next year I'm looking to be on the road a little bit more, focusing on just kind of putting out the record this couple months, and looking to play some some shows with the fans. I've done a lot of touring, solo acoustic tours, which is fun. But putting this music out is kind of my way of trying to kind of cut into a little bit more of a full band thing. So,
That's good,
so
yeah.
yes,
Just putting things together in place, like a material, so you can perform out there live.
yeah, definitely.
What's the scene out like? What's the scene like out there at the moment? With just coming out of the world lockdown, COVID. Is it slowly managed to bounce back?
Yeah, I think it's bounced back in full swing. I mean, of course, there's still, I think more recently we're seeing some little waves of COVID kind of coming back, which is scary for everyone, of course. But it's not like it was. And I mean, yeah, there's music festivals and shows, and I think people need people, and now we know what we need to do to kind of be safe. And but yeah, I mean, the scene is, I would say it's back just as strong as it was before, I mean, of course, lost some things along the way, but
Yes,
yeah,
like here,
bragging.
that's good to hear. Here in the UK, we've got a lot of pubs, and they're just struggling at the moment. With the rise in inflation and the cost of living crisis, and it's been real tough for artists to bounce back from this. But it's good to hear that to your side. You're making a comeback from this.
Do you feel like there's been so like less live music performances overall, or what do you see over there?
Yeah, I'm seeing this side less people going out. They
Mm.
seem to be people still go out, but I think when you go like people seem to go out just on weekends rather than in the week now, which is sad to see, really.
Yeah, I think that's definitely true here as well.
Mm,
But some of the smaller venues took a harder hit, and didn't make it through. I think there's a lot more like metropolitan areas where people can, do festivals
mm,
and things like that to be kind of back on the rise. But yeah, it is. It's harder
mm.
for those smaller pockets of the world, and you guys, everything's kind of small and close together, and that makes sense.
Yeah, sure. Like in like say in the capitals, they do all right because you got a lot of people there, and they finish work or they go and see live music. But yeah, as you say, like just the small towns, surrounding areas. But yeah, it's good that people are trying new things and musicians are getting out there and what have you.
Yeah,
Hmm.
definitely. And it's cool. I mean, I love playing over in the UK. I've toured over there before and had a great time, and lots of cool little pubs. And I hope that stays for sure.
Cool. My final question: what's it like when you hear your song being played like out on the radio?
It makes me smile really big and makes me happy. And it's always been kind of a dream, you know. And it was one of my goals in releasing this music was to just try to cast it out there as far as possible. So it's a gift and it's an honor, and I certainly appreciate it. I appreciate you. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. And social media platforms, are you on like the usual social media links like Instagram and so on?
Yeah, Instagram, Jordan Joys. I'm on Spotify, Apple Music. I've got two music videos out. I've just released the video for this new single. Confluence was really fun. So you can pop over to YouTube and check that out. Yeah, everywhere.
Well, thanks for chatting to me, Jordan, today. These interviews go so quick. I always say this, but I've got time to preview your new single on my show. Would you just like to introduce it on?
Sure. Um, My name is Jordan Joys, and you are about to hear my brand new single, Confluence, out everywhere now.
Well, it's been a delight chatting with you, Jordan, today. Thanks for taking time out to speak to me, Dan Cern here in the UK.
Thank you so much. Will you